Yeah, it's quiet Sunday afternoon. I don't even know what day it is. It's mid-festival, so like I don't have a job at the moment, so I don't need to know what day it is. All right. Cool. Let's get into it. Because you guys have no idea what you're here for. I'll give you a little rundown of what's going to happen today. This is a little podcast that myself and my friend Marty here run.
Hello.
Basically, the crux of what's going to happen today is we're going to introduce some guests to you who are doing festival spots. They've got their own shows in the festival. I had a show in the festival. It happens to be finished. I will still do a spot for you, and you can come see me in the comedy festival because it has a cliffhanger, and the only way you're going to hear the end of it is to come to see me in a comedy festival. All right. So unless you're in Perth or Adelaide, then you can come see me there. But mum's the word on that because I'm not allowed to say anything. So we'll get into it. It's a bit of a fun one. I'm just going to be a bit silly. Don't be afraid of the fact that there's no stage lighting. Which is a very relaxed environment. That's okay. Yeah. You didn't even notice until I pointed it out. But I might start us off. With a little story. So I'm doing a storytelling show. It's called I Got Bit by a Monkey Once. Right? So a nice, easy intro. That's not the story we're going to hear, but I'll get into it. So this story starts, it was a festival time, not this festival, like a year ago, and I was out for a walk. Right? And I could hear this voice calling from behind, this kind of like, hey! You know, that kind of voice, right? Yeah, we've all heard a voice like that before. The kind of hey that nothing of value has ever followed, ever. Right? So my general policy is to try and ignore it. Right? So I'm walking down, but it persists. There's a voice calling out from behind me, continuing with that same kind of hey. I figure we can get this done. Maybe it needs a cigarette. Maybe it needs a lighter. I can be out of here. So I turn around, and I come face to face with a man wearing a balaclava. Exactly. That is exactly right. That's how I felt inside. I was just like, oh, shit. So I say I came face to face with him. He was about half a foot taller than me, about half a foot wider than me. So I was really like face to man boob with this guy. But his eyes are up here. So I was very respectful. So obviously at this point you start trying to take in details because you're going to need to report those to the police later. And I noticed that his balaclava has a very nicely homemade skull design on it. You do need to give credit where credit is due. It was quite a nice design, right? So now I think about this guy and going out and buying a balaclava and then going home and having like an arts and crafts day, just getting out his best skull design, getting his balaclava, his white paints, and he's like, yeah, this will fucking scare him. It worked, so credit to him. Now, this guy, I'm not going to fight him. You can see me. That's not who I am. That's not how I get down, right? But I don't really have fight or flight as a person. I have flight and even faster flight. Like these are my modes. So I figure out I could probably outrun him. So I start to ease my way around him to get out of the situation because I'm focusing entirely on this guy in front of me. I don't see his friend come up behind me, about the same height, much thinner, carrying a big metal pole. Oh. Yeah, not great. You're right. That is the correct sound. That's the sound I made. And he, weirdly enough though, is wearing a matching balaclava. So now there's been two of them at this arts and crafts day, and I'm sure one of them at one point was like, oh, mine's not as nice as yours. Can you teach me how to... But anyway, so this guy, he has his metal pole, and he brandishes at me. He sees me walking, and he goes, fucking stop! To which I'm like, no, I'm just going to keep heading out this way. Basically, I have two skills. I can run, and sometimes I can talk. So I try to bring in because I'm probably not going to outrun this guy, I try to bring in my second skill, try to talk my way out of this situation. So I muster all my charm, all my wit, everything that I can in that moment, and the best I come out with is, hey guys, seem to have disturbed you. I'm just going to head back this way, back to my house. Telling the thieves where my house is, not my finest moment. And I'm easing away from them, and weirdly, they're not following. Right? I noticed that they're not following me, and I'm just like, oh, what's going on here? Have I done it? Have I Jedi mind tricked my way out of this situation? What is happening? That's when the third guy jumps me from behind, like body tackling me to the ground using the same strategy that the raptors use in Jurassic Park. 2 distract from the front, 1 takes you down from behind. And there's a moment as he's pulling me down to the ground where I'm just like, oh, clever girl. And down I go. At no point do I see the third guy, so I cannot verify whether or not he's also wearing a matching balaclava. I assume he is because it seems to be the team uniform. I got to give full credit to this guy though, because he is committed to this role. He body tackles me to the ground, which means he hits the ground full pelt, like full energy. I'm wearing a backpack at the time, so it takes the full weight of my backpack, my full body weight on his body. Doesn't make a sound, doesn't make a grunt, nothing. The only reason I know he's not unconscious is because his arms start to wrap around my arms, his legs around my legs, in a position that I have come to know as the hateful koala. Okay, so he starts pulling me down to the ground, and that's when the second guy comes back, the guy with the pole. He's no longer angry. His tone has changed. He now has the cadence of a school teacher. He leans down, he looks at me, and he goes, oh, hey there. Hey, so this is what's going to happen. We just want your money. I'm trying to explain to him, I don't have any money. I am a comedian of very little note. I have no money, right? It's okay, don't be distracted by Zelda. She's fine. And you'd think that they would listen to me, but I mean, like, I'm the guy that they're trying to rob, so they've got no real reason to listen to me. So he reaches into my pocket, pulls my wallet out, digs through my wallet. He finds $5 in change. And that is not even enough to split evenly by 3. So this is a bad day at work for them. So they go looking for something that's a little more expensive, a little more worth their time. He starts patting around in my pockets. He finds my phone. I take a moment. As soon as I feel his fingers go around my phone, I take a moment. I'm like, look, dude, you're not going to want it. It's shit. And you think he'd have listened after the first time. But he goes into my pocket, he pulls it out, takes a look at it, puts it straight back into my pocket. And the first dude, the bigger guy, he looks down at me and he's like, oh, you weren't kidding. So now I'm being heckled by my mugger. This is not a great day for me. Now, these guys, they seem very organized, right? They seem very organized. They've come and they've got their matching balaclavas. They've had their arts and crafts day. They came with a weapon. They've been watching a lot of Jurassic Park to brush up on their strategy. So they seem like a very organized bunch. Now, there is one detail that I've failed to pass on to you, the lovely podcast audience here today, and that is that the 2 items that they returned to my pocket, they did so with their bare hands. Right? Bare hands, no gloves, leaving fingerprints all over these items for me to later take to the police. Now, I'm not up here, like the whole purpose of this story is not to tell thieves how to be better at their job, right? But if you're gonna do a job, then you need all the tools for the job. Like, I wouldn't get up here without a microphone, right? This isn't a very big room. You could hear me anyway. But if you're gonna do a job, you need all. Even Michael Jackson had 1 glove, right? And the only thing that he stole was our hearts. All right, I will leave it there. There is another half to that story, and like I said, if you want to hear the other half to it, you can come see me in Comedy Festival. It'll work out well for you. So please, we're going to make a start for this. So please make my good friend here, Mr. Marty Atta, feel welcome.
Hey guys, I just want to explain why me and the boys mugged Matt that day. He was looking very. Okay. I have nothing.
It's called Stockholm Syndrome. And we do a
I
podcast
needed $5.
together
I'm
now.
like, Matty, give me $5. He's like, no. I'm like, well, you know.
I did ask. Yeah, no, every Stockholm Syndrome ends with 2 guys doing a podcast together. What is happening, Marty?
Not much. Our second show
Mm-hmm.
last week was great. You missed it.
You did.
You idiots. No, it was good fun. This is a live version of a podcast that we have that's not live. It's just in his house.
It's live at the time of the recording.
It is live at the time of recording.
No audience.
And we have upwards of 40 episodes, would you say?
Yeah, this is 48.
So
49.
many great guests we've had on the podcast. And on the podcast, we bring in pieces of stand-up that we think people would enjoy. We play them, and then we chat. And this live version, we bring in humans that you think we'd enjoy.
Yeah.
And we like, do you like this? And then we talk about how much we like them.
Yeah. They don't get to talk. They just...
No, we
they
parade
stand
them
in
in
the
front
middle,
of you.
like a catwalk. Up and down.
What am I bid for? Okay, so check out the podcast if you like this. It is also free on most platforms. Probably not.
I'm not selling it.
Okay,
Just give it away.
it's free.
Yeah. Have you seen anything in the festival?
No, because I am busy.
Have you guys seen anything in the festival? Has anyone seen anything good that they would recommend? Anyone? Yeah. What would you recommend?
My Best Dead Friend.
My Best Dead Friend. It's a beautiful show. Yeah, I agree. 100% back that claim up. New Zealand storyteller telling a story about her growing up in a small town, and one of her friends dies in the story. It's in the title. It's not a spoiler. And it's gorgeous. Like, it'll make you very sad, but it'll make you laugh a lot. It's such a beautiful show. Anything else?
2007 One Thank You Blue Light Disco.
I have not seen. What? So that's for anyone who's listening. 2007 One Thuggy Blue Light Disco. What is it? Can you explain? Can you quantify it?
Yeah, it's a comedy play about the 2007 One Thank You Blue Light Disco.
Very simple. Very simple. Yeah.
Pretty funny.
I'm there.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm there.
All right. Cool. See, so already you're learning. You're already learning.
And if these shows come back for Melbourne Comedy Festival, you can see them.
Oh, some of them are still running. We're only halfway through the festival.
Awesome.
I would say Best Dead Friend's still running. Sorry. Oh, it's over? Oh, it's unfortunate. It is an amazing show. If you ever... I don't know her name, but she's a New Zealand-based artist, so if you're in New Zealand, look her up. I'm sure she'll come back. Someone who is still running, Will Greenway. If you get a chance to see Will Greenway, amazing. Does beautiful spoken word pieces that are storytelling. He's Melbourne-based, but he does like whimsical stories about just events that didn't happen. Like 2 years ago, he did a story that was from the perspective of a man falling from a building. So, yeah, right? See, that's interesting. That's fascinating. You should go see that. But we will start our little showcase here by bringing up our first guest, a good friend of mine, and please make him feel very welcome as we bring to stage Mr. Pat McCaffrie.
Thank you. You get off. Thank you. A quick story about you two. Quick story about my life. A little while ago, my boyfriend and I, don't judge, it's 2018. My boyfriend and I, we were in my hometown of Adelaide. Don't judge, it's 2018, right? And we were back there. We've got culture, right? We were back there. It was a Saturday night, 2 a.m, and we were, because we have culture, at a 24-hour Zambreros they have there. Yes, it's true. We have the technology. We're standing there, right? And there's 5 people in this Zambreros. There's my boyfriend and I in the line. Just in front of us is like a young 18-year-old boy who's definitely just finished private school. And I say that because it's 2 a.m, and he had like a smoking blazer and a pocket chief. And then in front of him, 2 young women who would have been like 18, 19, around his age, right? My boyfriend and I are just standing there. I should clarify, I am very drunk. We're standing there, and then this young kid in front of us turns around to speak to my boyfriend and I, unprompted, and he just offers this, right? He just goes, "Oh, just my luck, lads. The 2 women I've been cracking onto all night," and then points to the 2 women directly in front of him in the line. "The 2 women I've been cracking onto all night. Lesbians." And in that moment, my boyfriend and I both knew that those 2 women were not lesbians. I've never been more sure of anything in my life, you know. And the reason we knew that, right, is that they had clearly told him that so that he wouldn't follow them from the bar to Zambreros like a fucking weird unit, you know what I mean, right? And the reason we knew that they weren't lesbians is that this kid clearly had no gaydar, right? And the reason we knew that is that he had just addressed my boyfriend and I as lads. That never happens, right? Like, we are not part of your end-of-season footy trip jape and or escapade, right? Like, we are gents or dandies, okay? We're on our way to a gala or a gallery opening. I said good day. Fun fact at the end of that story, right? We're just like standing in the line, and then this other 18-year-old boy walks in, and is obviously the boyfriend of one of these 2 young women, and they start really aggressively making out like this far from this 18-year-old fuckhead's face. It was so good because you could see his brain break, right? As he was just like watching this happen, and he just went, "Oh, bisexual, I guess." No. What a fuckhead. So we all excited about our new Prime Minister? Apparently not. It's a bit shit, isn't it, right? I talk a lot about politics in my life, and it's a bit shit. I think one of the things that annoys me about Morrison taking over is like the immediate effort to remake him as an ordinary Australian, as though anyone who is ever the Prime Minister is going to be an ordinary Australian. I was reading this huge article about him in the Daily Telegraph the day after he got the job, right? And it was like, oh, he's just like us, you know? He goes to the rugby, he picks up his daughter's dry cleaning. And then, like, I'm reading it, and then I get distracted by, like, a pull quote. You know, in a newspaper, when they take, like, a key sentence, blow it up to size 40, put it in red font to draw your attention, right? So I'm reading this article, and I get distracted, because the quote they used to humanise Scott Morrison, size 40, red, was, "He eats pies with his hands." What? Is that the test now for a Prime Minister? Is that all they have to do? I imagine that was probably pretty influential in the coalition party room when they were working out who to vote for. You know, like nervous MPs were like, oh, do we vote for Peter Dutton or Scott Morrison? And then, you know, some leader just walks in and goes, I think I'm going to vote for Scott Morrison because, wait for it, he eats pies with his hands. And that doesn't sound like much, but it does sound like a lot when you consider how Peter Dutton eats pies. I don't know if you've heard. He takes 3 pies, pops them in a blender, blends them up real good. Then, like a US college kid with vodka, takes a bunch of tampons, puts them into the pie mixture, lets them soak for a while, takes them out and inserts them up his anus. Because he says the quickest way to get a pie from outside your body to into the bloodstream is through the mucous membrane in the anus rather than through the lining of the stomach. And look, we all love Peter Dutton because he's a practical man and a party boy, but do we think the Australian people are ready to vote for Prime Minister, a man who eats pies through his anus? That's why I'm voting for Scott Morrison. I don't think that conversation happened. He eats pies with his hands. What a high bar we set for our political leaders. I think the other thing, though, it demonstrated, right, the whole leadership challenge situation was the problem the Liberal Party still has with women, right? Because like Julie Bishop could have been elected Prime Minister. It was her, Peter Dutton and Scott Morrison. She has the best brand recognition of any of those people. She's most popular out of any of those people. So obviously she came a distant third in that voting. She got 11 votes, which is like 10 plus her, right? Which is not much. And then the next day, the Australian newspaper ran a story with the headline, "To be or not to be, Julie Lady Macbeth Bishop makes her play for leader." Yeah, and like that is offensive for so many reasons. First of all, do not describe a woman in politics who has ambition as Lady Macbeth. But secondly, to be or not to be is from fucking Hamlet, not Macbeth in the first place. You illiterate fuck. Jesus. And like, the thing I hate, right, and I'll probably end on this, the thing I hate, right, is the Liberal Party has a problem with women, right? 1 in 5 Liberal politicians are women, right, which is not many. And there's this suggestion that they should just get a quota, right? Like the Labor Party did a while ago. They put in place a quota that they've now up to 50%, right? So every time they put a man in Parliament, they have to put a woman in Parliament somewhere else. And it's actually worked, right? They're now like almost 50% male-female. And the Liberal Party say, oh, we don't need a quota, right? Because we're not sexist. The reason we have so many men is just because they got there on merit, right? They were just the best candidate for the job, right? It's not a sexist thing, right? They just got there because they got there on merit. And like every time I hear that, I just want to ask the person making that argument, have you seen the men in the Liberal Party though, right? Like they didn't get there on merit. That is a conga line of cocks you wouldn't suck even if you thought their cum was going to cure your cancer, okay, right? Like they are bad. And I say that as a man who is partial to sucking a cock, okay, right? I wouldn't do it. Look, I'm going to leave it there. I'll leave you with that mental image. Thank you very much. I've been Pat. Thank you. Do I stay here? Or do I leave?
Stay there for a sec.
Oh, in the middle.
That's
Okay,
right.
thank you.
There's not much you can do from there. You going to go over there? There's not enough court for you to...
This is a shambles.
Plank each, guys.
That's not how we set it up. It's not the dynamic we agreed on. So, Pat.
Yes.
Demonstrating your skills there. Some
Both of them.
Yeah. So your show.
Yes.
Cool.
The show is a split bill, so it's me and a friend of mine, Nick, who I live with, and we're doing just 25 minutes each.
Yep.
It's called Old Friends, which is the title of a Simon and Garfunkel song. And the reason we called it that is because we're hoping the audience can work out which one of us they think is talented. Just a little challenge. And just because I'm taller doesn't mean I'm Garfunkel, okay? It's got nothing to do with physical attributes.
No, but your hair's getting... If you let it go
I really need to get it cut.
no, that's cool.
We're sorry.
No,
We
that's fine.
start Tuesday to Sunday.
Right.
In the room down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lovely intimate little space. I
It's
just
very
finished up in
intimate.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be an awkward moment of you haven't seen the other room. It's a 20-seater and it's very intimate. So I don't know where Nick's going to stand when you're on stage.
I don't know. Probably just behind me.
Yeah,
Sort of
just
leering
creeping
over my
up
shoulder.
on you.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Just leaning in,
Just
commentary.
marking all of my jokes. 4.
Well, that's how he becomes the Garfunkel.
Yeah. Yeah, if he just does all my jokes, but like in 3-part harmony, like just slightly above me.
Pies.
Yeah.
Hits your punchline with harmony.
Well, then he'd have to hit a high cox at one point.
Yeah. Mm.
So you should have gone Adelaide. I know Adelaide is Australia's punching bag,
Yeah.
but it does have the Adelaide Fringe,
It does.
which is the second biggest fringe in the world.
It is.
Yeah, so that's, you got something going
Look,
on.
it's a happy accident.
Yeah.
They needed something.
Yeah.
Well, we took everything else away.
It was Grand Prix. Yeah.
Yeah. Have any of you been to Adelaide? Like, don't be afraid. You have? Yeah. Yeah, like it's a fine place. Like it's a genuine 6 out of 10. Like it's fine. Don't rush there if you haven't been there, but like, yeah.
I'll take a 6.
I hear they have a 24-hour sombreros.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Looking forward to
I went there a lot. The best part of that story, right, and I don't tell it because I could never make it funny except like when you tell people, but I was
Right.
quite drunk.
Yeah.
And this kid in front of us, this private school kid, he got to the point of paying for his burrito and he went to tap his card, but it wouldn't go through.
Yes.
And so he said, "Oh, excuse me, I've just got to call my bank." And like I was drunk, but I'm like, what bank is picking up at
what
2
time
a.m.?
is that?
Like,
2 a.m.,
Unless,
yeah.
unless it's the World Bank. I don't think Westpac has call centres
He meant
operating
his
now.
folks. The
No,
bank.
he's got...
So
He's
he
got
gets
an
his
account
phone out.
in,
He gets
yeah.
his phone out, goes to contacts and B for bank, and then goes, "Hi, mum."
Ah, brilliant.
And I felt like grabbing his phone and just being like, "You have a shit for a son." And then hang out.
Cut him off.
Unless her name's Bank.
It was outrageous. And I should say the other thing that is, I was the next day, right, when I woke up, because like I said, quite drunk. I was like talking to my boyfriend and I was just like, wasn't that amazing? It was so funny how I just like saw him, like it was bank and I was like, oh, it's funny. And my boyfriend was like, yeah, I mean, I think he saw you looking, Pat. And I was like, what do you mean? I was just
Not
like
very
surreptitiously
subtle.
looking. And then Thomas, my boyfriend, just goes, "Nah, Pat, you were just like this."
It says Bank.
Yeah.
He goes straight up to the ladies. Good thing you didn't get with this guy.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
You're not really lesbo, eh? It's like, all right, settle down.
Just blowing up
Such a
everyone's
strange
spot.
drunk. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Pat. We're going to move
Thank you. Thank you very much.
along.
Thank you very much, guys.
Please,
He'll be back
Pat
later
McCaffrey,
on.
he'll
in
be
the
back
show.
later. Yeah. We're going to bring up our second guest and keep this show rolling along. So please make him feel welcome. His show sounds amazing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's got for us today. Barnie Juancan. Come on, guys. Clap, clap, clap.
Thanks very much. My name is Barnie Juancan, and a lot of people say to me, "Barney, where does the Juan come from?" And I say that I believe there's a little bit of Juan in everyone.
Mira que arriba el millonario.
Yo soy el millonario.
¿Tienes mucho dinero?
Muchos millones.
Sorry I'm late, guys. But just before we start, is anyone here called Mike? Any Mikes in the audience? Mike. Great. I just wanted to do a quick mic check before we started. Sorry I'm late, guys. Thank you. Sorry I'm late. I was just backstage eating some pretzels with my friend Steve, and they were really delicious. And I said to Steve, "These pretzels are so Moorish. What are they going to do next? Invade Spain?"
Millonario.
Anyone in the room called Susan? Do we have any Susans in the room? Susan? Oh.
Tiene muchos millones.
I just think Susan's a really trustworthy sounding word. Susan. It's like the word couch. Couch. Where's Susan? She's on the couch. Nice. I wish more things were called Susan, not just women or apathetic tables. But maybe like cocktails. Excuse me, barkeep. I'll have a Susan, thanks. What's that? Dry. It's a trustworthy word, not like the word spleen. Spleen is devious. It sounds like a prone to rupturing, devious thing. Where's the spleen? It's behind the gallbladder. Devious. I think if a spleen was called a Susan, it would be better behaved. Well, Mr. Juancan, the new diet seems to be working. Your Susan is in perfect order. Sorry I'm late though, guys. I was just crossing the road down at Gertrude Street, and I saw a donkey staring in the window of, I believe it was a succulent shop, and he was just shaking his head slowly from side to side. And I went up to him and said, "Is everything okay?" And he turned around and looked at me and just swung his head like this. Big sweeps, giving off a kind of Eeyore vibe. And I said, well, do you want to talk about it? Because I think it's important when two strangers are thrust together in these fleeting moments and one of them's upset that you reach out and say, "Is everything okay?" But he just shook his head again, slowly from side to side. And I said, well, look, I know about this 24-hour barber around the corner. How about we going for this mane a bit of a trim? That might cheer you up. But he just shook his head again. And I said, fine, do you want me to leave then? And he shook his head. And at the apex of each swing, he would open his mouth as if he was going to say something and then slam his teeth shut. And that's when I realized he was wearing carrot earrings. Sorry I'm late, guys. I was just trying to cross the street at the pedestrian crossing of Gertrude and Frenstram, and a car pulled up. I think it was a Mazda 2. Could be a Mazda 3. I can never tell the difference. They're so similar. Like a seal and a dog mermaid. Hard to tell the difference. I was just waiting for the crossing signal, and this car was there, and the car started crying, like tears squirting out of its face. And I said, "Is everything okay?" Because I think it's important in these fleeting moments when two strangers are thrust together and one of them's upset that you reach out and see if there's anything you can do. But the car looked at me and got embarrassed, started trying to wipe the tears away. And then the lights turned green, and the car sped off into the distance, tears flying behind it. And it reminded me of that Tracy Chapman song. I'm really sorry that I'm late, guys. I always get the words perineum and perennial mixed up, and I just had an interesting conversation at an indoor plant shop. I like my butts like I like my socks. Tight. That's all I'm going to do. Thanks very much.
All right, Barney, let's have a chat about your show. What have you got coming up?
I have a show called Taphead that opens on Tuesday. And it's about a man who has a tap for a head.
See, told you it sounded amazing.
Nothing original anymore, hey?
It's all been done.
And the premise, from what I remember right, because of course it hasn't started yet, so I haven't seen it, is that it's like a exploration of the open mic scene based on experience that you've had. Is
Kind
that
of.
right? Kind of.
Yeah, it's a little bit like I've been doing the open mic scene for about a year, and it's sort of about this tap that works in a public toilet in Fairfield Park, and when he clocks off each day, he sometimes stops off at an open mic night to do plumbing-based material. So there's that world, and then there's also Barnie Juancan, a stand-up comedian, doing sets. It's kind of like I'm doing some jokes, and then I do a joke about a tap, and then we see the tap's life come to life.
And you've got a headpiece.
Yeah, I've built this big tap that took so long, and I made it out of paper mache and chicken wire, and then I covered it in builder's bog, sanded it all smooth, sprayed it, and now it's kind of heavy.
Yeah.
But the handles work.
Fantastic.
Water doesn't come out of me though.
Well, it depends on how much
part.
it depends on how much you've had to drink before a show. You can build some straws into it and just.
I have got an interesting special effect, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Oh, a
let's see.
teaser.
Come
A
see.
teaser. I love a good teaser. All right.
Is this the first run of that show? Have you done it before?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
is
it's
it-
a brand new. So it's a work in progress thing. It's like $15 tickets because I still don't have an ending, so I'm going to be trying out different endings.
So come every night and see the different endings.
Yeah, it's good. I'm excited about it. I haven't done a new thing for about a year, so it's
Yeah, it's generally the run of
Yeah.
the life of some of these things where you're just like, a year is too long, when sometimes you're like, a year is not enough time for this show.
yeah.
I'm fascinated by the idea, and it's sold in the guide as being like part surrealist, which obviously man has a tap for a head, so that that should sell you on that. So I'm fascinated. Like it sounds like it's perfect for the Fringe, and lose my mic. You guys should really go check it out.
You really should.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Man. And we've got our final guest for the performance part of this, and he's a great performer. He's been around. I've seen him around a lot, and you're gonna love him. So just put your hands together and bring it to stage, Mr. Angus Brown. Woo.
Yeah. Hey friends, how you going? Good? Oh yeah, you're all so tired. It's good. Everyone's still angry about the bloody D's or something to do with football. I don't understand. No, you're all shaking your head. Oh, my people, we're going to look so well. I was in Collingwood the other day and so many people were happy and I had no idea what was going on. And I was there to buy clothes at 4 a.m. and there's this huge line of people. I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but you all look very drunk. My name is Angus, if you miss Angus Brown. It's a pretty sick name. I like it. Not to brag, but 5 letters, good symmetry. I'm a fan of that. Looks real good writing it out. Not all sunshine and rainbows, being called Angus Brown. I'll tell you why. On the day I was born, my dad decided he was going to fill out my birth certificate, which is a pretty easy thing to do. Has anyone here filled out a birth certificate before? No, it's Sunday and you're out drinking, of course. You've made all the right decisions in life. No, you can do whatever you want. If you ever do, it's super easy. Here's what you have to do. You fill out your name, and then you fill out your partner's name, and then you fill out the baby's name, and then you go back to drinking. That's it. That's all you have to do, right? My dad decided he was going to do it in reverse order. So he got smashed and then snatched the birth certificate off my mum. Was like, I've got this. And he started to fill it out. He put his name, Matt Brown, nailed it. Super easy. Got to mum's name, Sue Brown. That's less letters. That's easier. Crush that. Then he had to ramp it up to Angus Brown, and he fucked it up. And the way that he fucked it up is that he misspelt my name, which is normally a bit of a whoopsie-daisy. On a birth certificate, it's a bigger whoopsie-daisy. But the way that he misspelt my name was he left out a letter. Now, in a lot of names, that's a problem. If your name is Angus Brown, there is one letter that is so fucking important. And what Dad did was he left out the G. It's a wave, that one. You can always tell whoever laughs last can't spell for shit, right? So what that means, what he put on my birth certificate was Anus Brown, which is so fun. Until you remember it's a hospital and they do everything surname first. On my little bassinet, it just said Brown Anus. Which means the first thing Dad did in my life was legally call me an asshole, which is great. But I've been trying to give him a little bit of slack recently because I'm a dad now. I did a baby. I have a baby. It's good, little baby. It's probably not the best phrasing, is it? It's good. I created life. I'm a god. My wife gets too much credit. I feel like I did. I just feel like it's like if you go to a bakery and you eat a cake, you don't go, that's a delicious cake, and then go and thank the oven. You thank the baker. I baked the shit out of that cake. It's good. The friends listening on the podcast, so many angry faces in the crowd right now. No, she's amazing. She's great, and I love my baby's good. I like having. I keep calling my baby. I shouldn't call her a baby because she's 4 years old now, but I call her a baby because I cannot remember her name, and it's been 4 years. It would be awkward to ask. I used to give her finger guns and call her Champ a lot. Seems to work. It's great. I like being a dad. It's fun being a dad, but being a dad means you have to do dad things like all the time. She's old enough now. She has her own interests, so I have to take her to see shows she likes. Like a couple of months ago, there was a long weekend, and I had big plans for my long weekend until I found out it was a show she wanted to see smack bang in the middle. So for my long weekend, I went to go and see Paw Patrol live. Now, if you don't know what Paw Patrol is, I envy everything about your life. Paw Patrol is an animated show where dogs do jobs that people are supposed to do. Paw Patrol Live is a show where people dress up as the dogs to do the jobs that people are supposed to do. And this show goes for 2.5 hours, which is 2.5 hours too long for a show where people dress up as dogs to do jobs that people are supposed to do. But she wanted to go, so we went, and I took her. She was very excited, and we were sitting there. And as soon as we sat down in the row in front of us, a woman sat down with her 2 kids. And she turned around and she looked at me and my daughter and she went, "You guys fucking excited?" I said, "Oh, I am now." "Oh, this just got good." I said, "That's not the terminology I would use, but yes, we're very excited to see the Paw Patrol." She said, "I'm not." "Guess why I'm here?" I said, "Oh, it's probably these 2 lovely young children that definitely heard that profanity. They're probably very excited to see the Paw Patrol. They're probably very excited to see Sky. Sky is the girl dog. There's 6 Paw Patrol members and 1 girl because representation matters. She wears pink too because it's 2018 and everything's great. But I said they're probably here to see Sky. She said, "Nah, we're here because Dad bought tickets for the family." I thought, that's good. That's nice, Dad. Said, "Yep, Dad came up and told us that he had tickets to Paw Patrol Live. He bought 3 tickets for the 4 of us. He gave them to me. And he said, oh, by the way, you girls have fun. I'm going camping with the boys for the long weekend. I'm leaving work on Friday and I don't have my cell phone with me. There's no reception. We're camping. I'll be back Monday night. Have a great time at Paw Patrol Live." And I thought, what a fucking hero. Do you have any idea how weird it is to have your personal hero be someone you've never met or seen? This guy is a genius. I spent the whole 2.5 hours going, why didn't I do this? But I realised, like, the kids weren't much better off with Mum because just after she told me how they came to be there, she looked me up and down and said, "Hey, can you watch my kids for a bit?" And then proceeded to leave. No, I'm not as intimidating looking guy at all, I don't think. I hope not. If you're listening, I'm wearing a pink jacket. Like, there's nothing about me that's particularly like, don't trust. But I also am aware that I am pretty much the description of every pedophile ever. Like, I'm a mustache away from being a Crime Stoppers ad. It's just what they look like, right? And she said, "Watch my kids." Now, luckily, I'm a fantastic person. I said, "Sure, I understand you're here alone. You probably want to go to the bathroom and trying to take kids. It's hell. Trying to go with 1 is hell, let alone 2. I can't imagine. So yes, I'll watch your kids. You probably really need to pee real bad." Nah, she just disappeared for 20 minutes. When she came back, she had 3 glasses of red wine and none of them were for the kids. Fucking champion. I try to figure out what people are doing outside of kids. I avoided talking about having a kid for a while because as soon as you say it, people are like, "You fucking weirdo." But I try to figure out what people do. So I talk to my sister a lot, and she's younger than me. She's about 5 years younger, and she's not married or has kids. So she's out there living her life. And I ask her like what she's up to, and she's met a guy recently who she started dating, and she met the guy the same way that everyone meets people now, through apps, which blows my mind because I've been married for 11 years. Facebook wasn't a thing when I got married. So anyone who meets online, you baffle me. You're some kind of a wizard. I don't get it. Right? So she met her boyfriend. I said, "How? What was it?" She said, "I was through a dating app." I said, "That's great." I said, "What was the dating app? Was it Tinder? Was it Grindr?" I've got them all. I downloaded them. I tell my wife it's for research, but it's my exit strategy. I said, which one? What is it? She said, "Oh, I met him on an app called Thrinder." Now, before I keep talking, does anyone here know what Thrinder is? Yeah. Oh, it's so good because one dude put his hand up and the lady who's with him went, because Thrinder is exactly what it sounds like. Thrinder is Tinder for people who want to have threesomes. And that's where my sister met her boyfriend. And that's information I have in my head. I said, and she told me what it is. And the reason she met this guy on Thrinder is because she wanted to have sex with 2 guys at the same time. And that's the end of that sentence. So she went online because she's tech savvy. I feel like if you're a lady person who wants to have sex with two guys at the same time, you don't need an app. You just need a voice. Just stand up and say anyone. You will find some because they're animals. They will be there, right? But she went online. She found two guys. Surprise. But she didn't want it to be weird. She didn't want to, just jump straight in. So she thought what she'd do is she'd meet them beforehand. Because it can't be weird when you meet two strangers to fuck off the internet. That has to be above board. So what she thought she'd do is she'd meet for coffee. So they met for coffee. One of the guys showed up on time because he's a gentleman. The second guy was running late. Now, if you're running late to a threesome, get a fucking calendar. There is no excuse good enough. Sort your life out. The other guy on time, they started chatting. They hit it off and they thought, let's make this a thing. So they started dating each other and they cut out the third guy, which is great because the third guy is my sister's now boyfriend's best friend. So they see each other all the time. Which was enough for me. That was great. When I learned that, I was like, oh, this is so good. I'm going to live on this forever. Nah, because they decided to up it about 3 weeks ago when they told everyone that they were going to get married and that best friend is going to be the best man. Which means in January of next year, I'm finally going to see a not shit best man speech. None of this, always knew that Greg would find a good girl one day. Boy, was I wrong. No. Hey, remember that time we were all going to fuck each other, but I couldn't find a park? To the happy couple. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much, guys. You're cool. It's fun. And now I just stay, and it's good.
Yeah, we'll have a
It's
chat.
great. It's always fun when you finish a set and then you can't run into the shadows.
There is no escape.
It's
No,
the
I don't know
immediate
how.
urge is,
You're being invited over to the chair on Carlton right
Oh,
now.
wow.
Come on, this is the best part.
This is great.
All right, what's the name of the show?
The show is called Everest. I'm doing a show called Everest. It's about Mount Everest, and I didn't talk about Everest once in that set.
Selling it well.
Yeah, it's. I've decided to write a show about Everest because I thought that climbing Mount Everest was very similar to doing stand-up comedy. And then I started researching.
A lot of people die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started researching. I thought it's not. There's no similarities whatsoever. But registration had closed, so here we are. So it's a show. It's a show that's sort of half stand-up, half theatre in a way, where I play me doing stand-up for you, and then there's also a guy called Albert Bentwater, who's a 40-year-old used car salesman from Nunawading, who's trying to climb Mount Everest, and the only thing he's climbed before that is a tree. And it just jumps back and forth between them, and we see if we can find some correlation. I hope, because it opens on Tuesday. So we'll find out.
Okay, so again, you haven't run this anywhere? This is the first time?
I mean, in my office, in front of my dog.
Yeah.
Did the dog enjoy it?
I mean, yeah, she's pretty into it.
Zelda loves it.
Yeah, sure. So I don't know if you can pick it up on the audio, but there's a 3-year-old here. Or 4-year-old now, whose name I can't remember. She's good. She laughed a bit.
Yeah, that's continuity now. We've locked that in.
She's 4 and I've forgotten her name. There's a ladder that doubles for Mount Everest. So when she walks into the office and I'm just hanging off a ladder, she's like, "What are you doing?" And I try, "Dad's working."
Yeah, Dad's at work.
Things are weird. Yeah. Like our neighbours, he's a carpenter, he has a real job. And every time their friends talk about Dad at work, it's like, I'm confused by what your dad does. He never seems to leave the house in the day. I'm like, no, don't. You're absolutely right.
I mean, they both.
Do you ever overhear her with friends like, I want to talk about the rule of thirds?
No, I do overhear her talking to her friends about, like, they say, Mum and Dad go to work. And she was like, yeah, they go to do shows. Like, no, not everyone's parents, because my wife is in the arts as well. So she's like, no, not everyone's parents just do shows. Some people have jobs. Some people can afford things. It's great.
It's like, when's your dad putting on his carpentry show? And he was really good with a hammer.
They're playing with dolls. It's like, your character needs more.
I don't believe Barbie.
That's great. She'll put on shows in a heartbeat and upstage me. It's great. She's funnier than I am.
Sure, she will.
Well, I mean, children tend to fall into that category, though. Like,
yeah, I hope she doesn't. I hope. Oh man, I wanted to be an accountant so bad.
Yeah,
just like something
for you to fall back on.
Yeah, something for when I get 50 and just age out of any kind of performer. And it's like, guess who is looking after Dad? He made poor career choices, and it's
Honey,
your
do you have any
problem.
money for a home? No, I just put a Fringe show on.
Yeah.
That's it. Sorry, you want to go to school camp? I'm sorry, I have to build a set. It's a cardboard mountain. Sorry, champ.
Although at 50, still doing the cardboard mountain thing. Come on, it's played out. That's
it. It'll be hack by then.
Yeah.
That'll be the revival tour.
We need money tour. You'll come get all the greats of cardboard mountain fringing. And you get together and do a little.
Yeah, so the next 20 years of comedy that I do will just be cardboard-based mountain humour.
Yeah,
become my shtick.
It's a good niche. It's a good niche.
You got to carve out that niche early.
Yeah, you can't fault it.
And it
Right.
starts when, sorry?
Yeah.
Tuesday. Starts Tuesday in this very room at
this very
7:10.
room.
In this room.
It's the first time I've been in this room. It's a bigger room than I thought it was. So please do come. Oh boy, there are so many seats. There's a lot of seats in this room.
And you have to have a big room. You've got to fit a whole mountain.
Look,
in
we'll
here.
turn the
that's it.
lights. We'll turn the lights down for your one.
Yeah, that's great.
Doesn't seem as intimidating.
Turn the lights out, and I'll live in sweet denial. Great.
And that's comedy, guys.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. All right, so we're going to do, if you could, we're going to bring the other guests back onto the stage. And we've got one last section of this show, which we'll punch through nice and fast, which is just a nice little news quiz.
It's a quiz.
Basically, yeah, so these guys
A
are
funny quiz.
These guys are all going to pick someone from the audience to play on behalf of.
Oh,
And
sweet.
that one lucky audience member may even win themselves some tickets if we can organise that. So if you want to put your hands together, bring our guests back on the stage. And we're getting them some microphones.
Yeah.
Can we give one to Pat?
She's on that precipice.
Yep, there we go. Oh, look at that. Look at us. We can organise ourselves in a line. Yay. All right. So this is real easy. So you want to pick someone from the crowd, like each of you, pick someone from the crowd. Just anyone.
Yeah.
That's why we leave the
what's
lights
your name,
on.
Bro? Zippy?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Zippy's the one who put his hand
Mr.
up. for
Thrinder, yeah.
So,
Mr.
yeah,
Thrinder.
absolutely. That's my boy.
Yeah. Yellow jumper. That's you. That's you. Yep.
Sorry.
Isabel.
I thought she said it's lying.
Just correcting you.
See, I am colourblind, so yeah. Maybe I got that wrong. Isabel. Okay.
She will
sick.
throw down over the
Yep.
colour though.
That's it.
We got one more.
Your name, madam? Ashley.
Ashley, Isabel, and Thrinder. All right. Cool. All right, let's get into it. So basically, I got a couple of questions here that have happened in the news over the last month or so, and we'll see how much attention you've been paying. Let's go. So Japan. Japan has started a new railway project. So I don't know if you guys have seen. There's that project that they're talking about doing in Melbourne over the next couple of years, where they want to connect all the train lines in a big circular train line, right? So that's going to be a huge project, and that's really exciting, and that's going to save people a lot of time. But in Japan, they do things a little bit differently. They've got a 2-year rail project in the workings. Does anyone know what it's to do? Like what the whole objective of this 2-year project is?
To extend the rail 3 feet. If it's going by the same rate that Melbourne goes, that's it. We're hitting 2080.
Yeah.
I think we're getting our loop. So if it's 2
Yeah.
years,
Something like that.
You're
You're not far off. You're
Is
not far
that
off.
how long it's going to take for them to do the survey to name the new station?
And then they'll name it
Yeah.
Winterfell. No, it's to save 1 minute on one train route. That's how committed they are to having the trains on time.
Wow.
Yeah, right? So, Metro, pick up your game if you're listening. All right.
Well, they're valuable minutes that those Japanese scientists can spend
Well,
killing
that's
endangered
right.
whales.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. That's
got a lot of work to do.
You've got to save it.
Superpower by running.
Australia recently won a landmark World Trade Organization ruling on what? Anyone know? I know it's not very funny.
I don't.
Lamington.
Pigeons? Yeah, I'll take pigeons. Anyone else?
I thought you said kitchens.
Pigeons in kitchens.
Yeah, I'm going with kitchens then.
All right. Well, we've locked in both the main answers. Any thoughts?
Lamingtons is what I thought it
Lamingtons?
was.
Oh, yeah, nice. No, it's about the tobacco plain packaging. So basically, the tobacco companies tried to take Australia to knock down that ruling over a plain packaging, right? And we've rejected it. And basically, they thought it violated intellectual property rights because they can't put their own branding on it, and everything that they have to put on there is like an awful olive green, and it's like one type of text. Ooh. So those are the rules that we've put in place. Real strict.
That you just described a VB can though. Also hazardous to health, but if I was VB, I'd be like, oi! We're marginally better. Come on.
Yeah.
Cigarette company's like, who's going to buy something?
That looks this awful.
Just a VB logo on it.
Like, if you ever go to Perth, have you ever had emu export?
Oh, push chooks.
Oh,
Push chooks.
that is a gross product.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's what you drink when you're just like, well, I'm in Perth. I give
Yeah.
up on everything.
It's like it's all done.
I've never smoked, but drinking that is what I imagine
It was a boo.
smoking
Is
feels
there
like.
someone from Perth? You're from Perth.
Oh,
you-
Zimmy.
Oh.
hey, you guys should come see me in Perth. I'll be in Perth. Yeah.
Perth is like a filter on Fringe that's like not family.
Actually,
The filter is there so you can take it
here's
off.
here's an
Yes.
interesting thing for you. So in is it
Norway, Finland.
yeah, Norway or Finland, one of those. They have a dating app that
Yeah.
tells you the amount that you are related to someone because it's Iceland. It's Iceland because of the small population and because people just stay there their whole lives. So it's essentially this combination of Ancestry.com and Tinder, right? It's an amazing app. It's just
When Iceland made some World Cup or Euro final, because it was 30,000 people there, it was like 0.005% of the entire population.
Wow.
So if Iceland were at the game, 30,000.
it was like, oh, my whole family's here. I'm just looking for a date.
Stop running.
Pauline Hanson, Alan Jones, and Mark Latham all denounced a 9-year-old for what reason?
Being fabulous.
Ooh,
Yeah.
no, that's. I'll give you that.
Oh,
I'll
she
give you
wa-
that because she is pretty fabulous. This 9-year-old.
Didn't she refuse to sing the national
She refused to stand for the anthem. Yeah, she refused to stand for the anthem, and they all went on their most public platforms and denounced her and said that she was awful and all these sort of things, and then unaustralian and all that sort of bullshit.
But Nike is making her the face of it.
Yeah. So that's a nice little uptick for her. She gets all those sweet Nike dollars.
Maybe it's done.
Emu export.
Done well, yeah.
Emu export are making you the face.
Yeah.
Dipset legend and fucking
I was
smashing teenies as she sits. The anthem pace. That's the whole game. Oh, Australia. It's about 9. 9's the legal drinking age in Perth, isn't it, Zippy? 9, yeah.
I was catching a Uber home from the airport, and I was talking to the driver about that, and he said, I let him know, I was like, I just saw this crazy thing happen in the news, you'd read about it, and he went, well, that's a bit harsh. They could have, all they needed to do was give her a little smack. They didn't have to.
Oh,
Detain
wow.
her.
That's much better. Yeah.
What I've been saying about Kaepernick the whole time.
Oi, come here.
Yeah.
Stop it.
No. Well, he's kneeling, so they don't have to reach up as high. So.
Yeah, that's him kneeling.
Yeah. That's
He's a giant.
Just looking by the ear.
This country was built. What did scientists recently do with a pig? Yeah.
That's between them and the pig, surely.
Allegedly, yeah.
What would you
Not
do?
sure.
Eat it? What else do you do with a pig?
Well, they probably did eat it.
Rode it.
They made it really big.
They raced it.
They jumped on jump.
Pig races. That's what
Trying
these
to figure
scientists are up
out if
to.
the pig is faster than the Japanese train.
Yeah, they bloody global warming conspiracies and that's what scientists do.
No, they kept its brain alive for 36 hours after its death. So essentially, it's like the first steps towards the brain in the jar technology from Futurama.
That's great.
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
Its brainwaves are just going 36 hours straight.
Or just
What is
36
happening?
36 hours of that pig coming to terms with the fact there is no afterlife. Just bereft.
It's just me in a jar.
Yeah.
Ah, this wasn't what they said at all. They promised me death.
That pig's brain also sat for national anthem.
Well, I couldn't stand for the national anthem. Didn't have any more legs.
The brain took a tilt. I'll stay upright.
All right, so there's a little setup to this one. So there are some companies which operate in Australia. So basically, any company that operates in Australia with an annual turnover of 100 million or more would now be required to annually report on the risks of modern slavery within their business, right? So this is a good action. Some stuff like this already exists in like countries like Canada and stuff like that. Just we're ramping up the level that they have to report. Which company is saying that the expense of such reporting would likely to have to be borne by the consumers? That's you guys.
As in what? They're worried they're going to pass on the cost of not having...
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, oh, if you want us to not have slaves, you'll have to pay for that.
Right.
You know, like it's some sort of green marketing or something. You know, like free range eggs, free range children.
Right.
No, I don't think so.
Meaning I could pay these people, but then you'd pay more for your money.
Well, meaning like the cost of the reports to make sure that they don't have slaves Yeah.
Right.
Would be borne by us, the consumers, rather than them, the company who has hired said slaves in the first place.
I don't know why you're asking questions about $100 million tax bracket to 3 comedians.
Yeah.
How many is it more than 10? If it's more than 10, I'm out. Which I'm going to say
company?
Emu Export.
Close.
Oh, great.
Really?
No, not at all.
Okay. I don't know. McDonald's.
You're probably closer. Yeah.
Go.
Anyone take a step?
I'm too hungover, and I don't actually
Yes.
understand what you're talking
That's
about.
okay. That's right. It was. I don't think anyone would be surprised. It was Nestle.
Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, pretty
Like a
much.
track record of just being
They do,
shreds.
yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, the CEO of Nestle once said publicly that water is not a human right.
Oh,
So-
that's good.
Yeah, right. So they're doing
So
really
now
well.
you know.
And wanted to buy up a whole bunch of water in Africa
Yeah,
and only sell bottled water.
yeah, because water's not a human right. Yeah.
Charming.
Because they don't have running water. It's providing a service.
They need it.
Tastes like Kit Kat.
It's
Yeah,
$4.50
exactly.
or
They
two
got
for
it
six.
flavored. Let's lighten the mood a little bit. Kuwait authorities shut
Oh,
down.
good. Yeah.
No,
The
no.
sentence that always follows. the
Yeah,
flow.
Kuwait.
Wow.
No, this one's fine. Kuwait authorities shut down a fishmonger selling old fish using what trick to make them look fresh?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
the
yeah.
only one I know.
Yeah.
It's
Googly eyes.
Yeah, sticking
yeah.
googly eyes on
Yeah,
the
you
Phenomenal.
put
fish.
googly eyes on the fish.
You've got to look up the photos.
Oh, it's
As soon
so
as
good.
done, get your phone out.
Because
Oh
the
my
fish
god.
just looks so happy.
Yeah.
Before. It's like they have the before and after, and the fish like, eat me, and then you take it off, and you can see like the rotting hole into their head. It's the
You can-
best before and after ever.
You can see straight through to that fish brain.
Yeah.
basically, Once you take the eyes off.
I worked for Sammy Davis Jr. He was dead for like 10
You're
years,
right.
no one knew.
And I definitely wanted to eat him. You're right. That's right. You look fucking delicious, Sammy.
Wrap him up in some paper, serve him with chips. Yeah.
All right, maybe two more, then we'll wrap it up. Oh yeah, we'll get two more. So NASA is trying to cover some of its costs by doing what?
Laundry.
There's a couple of answers
Laundry.
to this one.
Okay.
Laundry, I like that.
Are they selling like ad space on?
Yes, ad space is one of them. They're
Yeah.
selling ad space on low orbiting rockets.
Yeah.
So basically anything that's just still in the stratosphere, you can buy an ad on.
Yeah.
So if you've got a company and you want to get some promotion, NASA's looking.
Ice cubes and pink.
No, I just imagine like stargazing, like looking into a telescope, and then just being like, "Oh, the $5 footlong deal is back.
McDonald's Monopoly.
That's interesting."
I just imagine the guy who buys the ad space not fully comprehending what he's buying.
yeah, right. We're going
Like,
to shoot
guys,
your
where's the
ad
billboards, guys?
into
Yeah, it's,
space.
It's there. You just
Yeah.
can't see it. Oh, that was $100 million.
He did-
My
the guy,
boss is going to be so mad.
the guy who bought that definitely thinks the moon will just have his logo on it.
There's one more thing that they're allowing. Does anyone know what the other thing is?
The other thing to make money.
Yeah, they're to allow money to come in to help make money.
Are they letting certain individuals? Are they selling like tours to the edge of the disc that we all
Oh
live on?
no, that would be great though. That'd be fantastic.
Are they selling like the words that the astronaut says as they get to the next planet? So instead of,
It's one small step for Nike.
Right.
yeah, exactly.
Just do it.
yeah.
You're getting close. You're getting close. They sort of. They're allowing.
That's disturbing.
They're allowing astronauts to do product endorsements and like get their face on like products and
right.
stuff like that. So they're going to open up that possibility. No, they weren't allowed to because it was seen as like a prestigious position and that you were like, you were this.
Buzz Aldrin?
Nah, no little Buzz Aldrins, no Buzzos, none of that. Nah. All right. No, two more. I think you'll know this one. Sesame
It's gonna
Street
look bad
writer
when we
has
don't.
confirmed what long-held theory?
Oh.
That
But
they are
then-
actually puppets.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
the one. That's the one. They are all actually puppets. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. Sorry to break your hearts.
Not real.
Yeah, no, not at all. None of them are real. Anyone
But
know?
those puppets are also heaps gay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bert and Ernie
that
forever.
Bert and Ernie were written as a gay couple.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
Like,
Said one of the.
So one of them,
Yeah.
But then Frank Oz came out.
No.
Quite aggressively and was like,
Ah.
I wrote Bert, I know what Bert is, he doesn't have a sexuality, and then went to sleep, woke up in the morning, was like, actually, that was probably a bit harsh. This is probably a good thing, and I'm okay with it.
I know it's a good thing. I just mean it was only one of the writers on
Yeah.
the team of writers.
Yeah.
It was like, I wrote this game.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't know how else to write them. So he wrote them as a gay couple living together. But that seems to have caught on now. Like everyone seems to be okay with it now. And one last one. New South Wales Police did what to a magpie?
Oh, I think I heard
You know this one, yeah?
I think it was did they shoot it?
They did, yeah. They
Because
shot it, yeah.
It's written in the police handbook that if a magpie is too dangerous,
That's right,
fucking
yeah.
shoot it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the... right, so I've got...
Why? Because he's black. This is ridiculous.
he's also half white. So it attacked an old lady in the street, and two New South Wales
There is
police
something
officers-
funny about that.
That's so good. just walking along with it.
So, but no, the best thing is the two cops that shot it were
Two?
yeah, two.
How many times?
This story gets better and better the more you know about it.
Justice for the Maggie.
So no, like the magpie won Bird of the Year last year, and now they're out like murdering it. The two cops who shot it were in plain clothes, so didn't have a cop car. Nobody knew that they were cops. They just rolled into the street and shot this bird down. And people in the street were just like, we didn't know what was happening. Like, just these two guys just rolled into town and just shot this bird down because it was a known.
Did you say it was Bird of the Year last year?
Magpie won Bird of the Year.
I'm amazed there is an award for Bird of the Year,
The
but I
Guardian,
cannot wait for
the
like
Guardian does
6
Bird of
years.
the Year.
All right, I cannot wait. Yeah. I cannot.
So it came down to magpie and the ibis, and then.
Right. Sorry. I thought you meant like that bird had won Bird of the Year.
That particular magpie was Bird of the Year.
I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I thought it had
They don't do the swimsuit anymore.
I thought it had
They don't do
had won and then like gone on a crazy bender and like just like hit rock bottom and then like got shot by two cops. Obviously. Yeah.
You killed Bird of the Year.
I am such an idiot.
It's like Australian of the Year.
I'm honestly not even joking. I thought there was something about this magpie.
He's a pretty good magpie.
Fuck, I'm
that
dumb.
old lady, she was a bitch.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
stupid.
We're gonna roll him out. All right, so this is like an extract from their booklet. It says, "Our specialized police, highly trained tactical police, are regularly at this time of year like out. So they've got a special unit for like shooting birds. Yes, CSI birds, and their handbook has a whole section dedicated to." This is a direct quote, magpie destruction. Whoa. Yeah, which states that officers are authorized to kill an Australian magpie as long as it is not a national park, a nature reserve, a historic site, or on private property without the property's owner. And it specifically suggests that a shotgun be used to deal with any troublesome birds. So now this is two plainclothes officers rolling into town with shotguns, shooting a bird out of a tree, and nobody around them knows what's going on. You would be panicked. You would be
What worries me is magpies swoop people.
Yeah.
Like if you're shooting a shotgun near someone's head.
Duck!
Yeah.
No, it's a bagpipe.
Yeah.
Done.
That is dangerous.
I hope the magpies know that they have those safe zones though.
Yeah.
Fuck, did you
Yeah,
make national parks of Bali?
Make a run for the national park.
It's like
Take a human hostage by sitting on its shoulder.
yeah.
Yeah, just its beak at his head. We're going for the park! Take the shot! Take the shot!
Just nick me.
I'd love to be around that cop unit when they start trying to like come up with catchphrases for it too. Magpie, more like magpie. There's a saying that's like that was a good one, Devo. That was a good one. Magpie. You crushed that.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine coming home from work and like just having your partner say to you like, "Oh, what did you do today?" And you just go,
Justice.
"Magpie swooped an old lady, and I wanted to take the shot, but I just can't anymore." It's like PTSD from like, fucking hell.
I think you got the most right answers, Angus.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Angus. So
Angus Brown.
good work, Trinder.
Bush.
Bush.
Please.
Year's supply of...
Yeah.
Oh, he is pumped. The eyes on the person next to you just keep getting wider the longer this goes on.
She's like,
This
this
is
is
like-
bad for
This is interesting. It's good that he knows that. What have I done?
Please put your hands together for all our guests. We do this this is the last one for this festival, but we tend to do these at most of the festivals. So if you're interested in coming back and seeing another one of these, they get a bit silly, and we'll get in touch with you and get some contact details. Thank you so much, guys.